I want to, all of these things come to me, in my mind, a very important place in the body because we can talk about this stuff. But what we're talking about is the information that we're learning and how people are dealing with it and having this awareness. And you had some framing around like the nervous system. And I want to know if we could talk a little bit about that because it's a thing that everyone has. And it's a part of why people are struggling to staying and stuff to do something with it. So you speak more on that nervous system part.
So the nervous system is incredibly, I like to think of the nervous system like a car alarm, right? And the nervous system's job is to tell you when there's an intruder. But the problem is, just like a car alarm, the random cat that gets on your car, right, sets it off, and it's like at 3 a.m. and your car alarm is going off, or like somebody brushes up against it and it goes off. Depending on your lived experiences, depending on your history, your nervous system could be more or less. But the truth is that the point of the nervous system is to tell you when there is a threat, right? And so when something happens, whether it's racially motivated, whether it's conflict motivated, again, the level of sensitivity is based on where you come from, the nervous system sends out a warning. And typically the warning is to the sympathetic nervous system, right? The sympathetic nervous system, which responds. And for us, that can look like fight, that can look like flight, that can look like freeze, that can look like fawn, right? It can look a number of ways. And fawning is one we don't talk about as much. And many people learn how to fawn. We take care of other people. You're so smart. You're so good. I understand you were well-intentioned. We do all of that at the expense of ourselves, and recognize that these are survival skills to get that brontosaurus from eating us, whether we got to run, freeze like a tree, pet its little back. Like, we do all the things to protect ourselves from the threat.
Yes.
What is interesting about this is that it is not limited to people of color, right? Everybody's nervous system reacts when there's a threat. And the key is to recognize that the worldview narrows. And so you don't even have access to your rational brain when your nervous system is activated, because your nervous system is like warning, 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 warning. You don't have access to your brain. So to our conversation earlier, that we have to recognize when we are activated, because there is nothing that's going to come out of that is not survival oriented. We have a responsibility to soothe ourselves and self-regulate so that we can continue to have access to our thinking brains so that we can make decisions. And this is where the value of the pause comes in.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I love this.
That was a lot. Sorry.
It's important because when I describe the importance of self-regulating, I don't take the extra step to do all of what you're actually describing. And what you're describing to me makes me want to be able to learn it so well that I can use my own words like you just did. But that is why self-regulating is important. Once you self-regulate, then you get to do a little different. So when you're using that, I don't know, you said brontosaurus, a dinosaur. I'm just going to go with that, because what happens is without self-regulating, we associate things with that's the dinosaur.
It's a monster.
But more often than not, when people, because I've had to help a lot of people self-regulate to practice to
not
hear what's happening. Did you know that when you slowed down, all you felt was the ground shake, and that's because someone threw a ball to you. It's not the dinosaur, but you felt the ground shake. You think dinosaur, and then you're now responding to a dinosaur when someone threw a ball to you to play. And in our interactions, I see it so much where people they're engaging with each other. There's activation. And because it feels like something, immediately we're associating that person or the situation with a thing. And it's not always that thing, but we justify what you want to say something.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Because let me add to that, because fair. A lot of times it isn't a real dinosaur, right? It isn't, and it is, but sometimes it is.
Yes.
And because I think the other side of this is that right now, no one is okay. No one is okay. But here's what I'll say, because let's just pretend that you and I have an interaction. And I say to you, I want to talk about your paperwork, or I want to talk about, I'm your boss, and I want to talk about, and you're like, And you're like, yeah, like you become larger than life. You're like a monster. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I just asked about your paperwork. But this happens all the time. And 99% of the time, your reaction has nothing to do with, or very little to do with me. Mm-hmm. Everybody is not okay already. And so there is something about being a leader in this time, recognizing part of the work in you self-soothing means, did I initiate? First of all, was this a monster at all? And if it was, how much of that has to do with me? And I just wanted to put that in there because I think that's a piece of it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, no, it is. The importance of knowing what it is and what it isn't. Because if you slow down and it is a dinosaur, okay, then you know what you can do with it. If it isn't a dinosaur, then you are better able to do something with it. My suggestion is self-regulate to know what it is so we're not defaulting to the same thing for every single situation. Thus keeping us out of understanding our needs, meeting our needs, communicating with other people. And then the leadership component is what you just described. I now need to understand what I got going on because I also work with other people and they may need their own support, or I might need to, in order to be responsive and help and support, figure out, wait, what's going on here? Oh, they must think it's a dinosaur. I'm regulated. Let me help whatever the situation is. But it can absolutely be. There's a lot of stuff going on in organizations. It's the reason why I care about DI work. There are a lot of things going on that aren't great, not safe. And as a result of me helping people unpack, there's a lot of things that people immediately associate with safety, lack of safety, and someone harmed me that hasn't been unpacked, because when they do, it actually isn't because someone did something. You just have, it's in you.